All right, so today we are going to be diving deep into I Can Make You Rich by Paul McKenna. I know, you're probably thinking, another one of these books that promises to make you rich, but this one is different.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
It goes way beyond just like, the typical get-rich-quick schemes.
Yeah,
It really digs deep into the psychology of wealth.
it really does. And one of the things I found really interesting about this book is how McKenna expands the definition of wealth. He talks about happiness and health and friendships and the power of ideas, like being vital components of true riches. It's not just about the money, right?
Right, yeah, it's much more holistic.
Yeah.
Like, having it all, not just financially, but in every area of your life.
Yeah. And it really got me thinking, if having millions doesn't guarantee feeling rich, what does?
Wow, that's a great question.
Hmm.
And McKenna argues that it all comes down to cultivating what he calls a rich thinker mindset.
Mm.
And he contrasts this with a poor thinker mindset,
Hmm.
which tends to focus on, limitations and scarcity. So, think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to effortlessly attract opportunities and abundance,
Mm.
while others, they struggle despite their best efforts?
Totally.
It's like some people have a knack for, like, spotting potential where others only see obstacles.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, they see the glass half full and other people just see it as half empty.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do we tap into this rich thinker mindset?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And McKenna believes that anyone can learn to think like a rich thinker.
Okay.
And one of his key strategies is to work directly with the unconscious mind.
The unconscious mind.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Which he believes is the control center for our wealth programming.
Whoa. That's pretty deep.
It is deep.
Are you saying that we have these like hidden programs running in the background that are affecting our financial success without us even knowing it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, our early experiences with money, they create these, what he calls money blueprints.
Money blueprints.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it's almost like pre-programmed scripts, that dictate our financial behaviors.
Okay.
For example, let's say you grew up hearing your parents constantly worry about money.
Mm-hmm.
You might unconsciously associate wealth with, like, stress and anxiety.
Right.
And that can sabotage your efforts to build wealth,
Yeah, for sure.
even if you consciously desire it.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like those limiting beliefs, right?
Exactly.
That we hear so much about, but on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Okay, so if our unconscious mind is running these programs, how do we rewire it for wealth?
Well, McKenna provides a whole toolkit of techniques for rewiring the unconscious mind.
Okay.
One of the most intriguing ones is what he calls creating an alternative past.
Creating an alternative past. What, like, are we talking time travel here?
Not exactly.
Okay.
It's more about using the power of visualization to create new neural pathways,
Okay.
essentially rewiring our brains for wealth. So in this exercise, McKenna guides you to vividly imagine a childhood that's filled with abundance and positive messages about money.
Oh.
So you surround yourself with supportive, rich thinkers who are encouraging your financial success.
So you're basically creating a new empowering money blueprint to replace the old limiting one.
Precisely.
That's pretty cool. But is there any science behind this?
Well, yeah. It might sound a bit out there, but there's actually a growing body of scientific evidence that supports the power of visualization and mental rehearsal to create lasting change.
I'm listening.
So, athletes use it all the time to improve their performance.
Yeah, that's true.
And now McKenna's applying it to wealth creation.
I see. That is fascinating. I wonder what other, hidden programs we might have running that are affecting other areas of our lives. But I guess we can dive into that another time. For now, let's get back to rewiring for riches. What other techniques does McKenna offer?
Well, another powerful technique is called reprogramming your wealth thermostat.
Reprogramming your wealth thermostat.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds interesting. Tell me more.
So this one is all about expanding your comfort zone around money.
Okay, so what is this wealth thermostat?
Yeah.
Is it like, we all have this internal setting that determines how much money we're comfortable having?
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
So McKenna believes we all have this internal thermostat, right, that dictates our financial set point. And if our thermostat is set low, we might unconsciously sabotage our efforts to earn more,
Oh, wow.
even if we consciously desire wealth.
Okay.
But if we raise our thermostat, we open ourselves up to greater abundance.
So how do we crank up the heat on this wealth thermostat?
Well, McKenna uses a powerful visualization technique where you imagine ever-increasing sums of money flowing into your life.
Okay.
You start with an amount that you're comfortable with and gradually increase it, visualizing yourself receiving and managing this wealth with ease.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about stretching your mental boundaries, and expanding your capacity to receive.
I actually tried this visualization exercise last night,
Oh, really?
and it was surprisingly powerful. At first, I felt some resistance when I imagined, larger sums,
Sure.
but as I kept visualizing, it started to feel more natural.
That's great. That's the power of working with the unconscious mind.
Yeah.
With consistent practice, you can literally reprogram your beliefs and behaviors around money.
Okay.
And, you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg. McKenna has a whole arsenal of techniques from something called From Resentment to Riches.
From resentment to riches.
Yeah,
Okay.
two simple but effective money management strategies.
Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dive into some of those techniques. I'm especially curious about this from resentment to riches
Yeah.
thing. What is that all about? Does it involve like forgiving our debtors or something?
Not quite.
Okay.
It's actually about transforming envy into inspiration.
Okay.
So McKenna argues that resentment and envy are major wealth blockers.
That makes sense.
They keep us focused on lack and scarcity.
Yeah, for sure. If you're constantly comparing yourself to others and feeling resentful of their success, it's got to be hard to attract abundance into your own life, right?
Right, it's like putting up a wall.
Yeah.
So in this exercise, he guides you to visualize those people that you envy.
Okay.
But instead of dwelling on their success, you replace their image with an image of your own wealthy self, embodying the qualities and achievements that you desire.
It's like turning jealousy into fuel for your own success.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay, so it sounds like McKenna is all about mastering our mindset. But does he offer any practical advice on managing our money? Because, even if we are attracting abundance, if we're not managing it wisely, it's not going to last long.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about the mindset.
Yeah.
McKenna doesn't just focus on the psychological aspects of wealth creation.
Okay.
He also provides some down-to-earth strategies for managing our spending habits.
Yeah, because let's face it, even the most positive mindset won't magically make our debt disappear or our savings accounts overflow. So what kind of practical tips does he offer?
Well, one of his most effective techniques is surprisingly simple. Switch from credit cards to cash.
Really? I mean, that's something my grandma always used to say.
I know, right?
But in this age of digital payments, is cash still king?
Well, McKenna argues that using cash makes us much more conscious of our spending when you physically hand over those bills. You feel the impact of each purchase more acutely than when you just swipe a card.
I see.
It's like that saying, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy to lose track of how much you're spending when you're not seeing the money leave your hand.
Exactly.
Okay.
And McKenna also emphasizes the importance of asking yourself conscious questions before each purchase.
Like what?
Well, things like, do I really need this? Or will this truly enhance my life and bring me closer to my goals?
Yeah, it's like pausing before you buy to consider the true cost, right? Not just the price tag.
Exactly.
Okay. Is it going to bring me joy or is it just going to clutter up my closet and drain my bank account?
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about making mindful choices that align with your values and your financial goals.
Okay.
And for those who struggle with overspending, McKenna offers a helpful exercise called the ABC list.
The ABC list. Oh, I've heard of this. That's where you categorize your expenses, right?
Yes, you got it.
Tell me more about how it works.
So you create 3 lists.
Okay.
A is for essential expenses, like housing, food, transportation.
Got it.
B is for important but not essential items, like entertainment or dining out.
Okay.
And C is for everything else, those impulse buys or nice-to-haves that aren't crucial to your well-being.
So it's like a hierarchy of needs, but for your spending habits.
Exactly.
I like it.
The goal is to prioritize your A-list items
Yeah.
and then allocate funds to your B-list and only indulge in your C-list items if there's anything left over after meeting your essential needs and financial goals.
It's a really practical way to create a budget without feeling deprived. You're not completely cutting out those little luxuries. You're just making sure that you're taking care of the essentials first. And speaking of taking care of ourselves, McKenna also talks about the importance of tapping into flow state for wealth creation. But before we jump into that, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more from I Can Make You Rich by Paul McKenna. So we were talking about tapping into flow state for wealth creation.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating concept.
It is, it is. You know, I've definitely experienced flow state before, like when I'm writing and the words just seem to pour out of me effortlessly.
Right.
It's almost like being in a trance, but in a good way.
Yeah, it's that magical zone, isn't it? Where time just seems to melt away
Yeah.
and you're completely absorbed in what you're doing.
Hmm.
It's that feeling of effortless focus and peak performance
Mm-hmm. Totally.
that, athletes, musicians, artists, they all describe.
Yeah.
And McKenna argues that it's not just some mystical experience
Right.
that's reserved for, creative geniuses or something.
Yeah.
It's a neurophysiological state
Okay.
that we can all access and cultivate.
So how do we tap into this flow state on demand? Especially when it comes to something like wealth creation, which can sometimes feel like a real slog.
Well, he offers a really interesting technique
Okay.
called the creating flow exercise.
Creating flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he guides you to vividly recall a time when you were completely in the zone, experiencing that effortless flow.
Okay.
So you really immerse yourself in that memory,
Hmm.
paying attention to all the sensory details.
Like what I was seeing.
Yeah, what you're seeing, hearing, feeling, like really bring yourself back to that moment.
Okay, so it's like reliving that peak experience in my mind's eye.
Exactly.
And then what? How do you make that state accessible whenever you need it?
Here's the really cool part. Once you've fully accessed that flow state memory,
Mm-hmm.
you choose a physical sensation to anchor it to.
Anchor it to.
Yeah, it could be a touch,
Okay.
a gesture, or even a specific word.
Okay.
The next time you need to tap into that flow state, say when you're brainstorming business ideas or working on a challenging project,
Mm-hmm.
you simply activate that anchor,
Hmm.
and your nervous system will automatically recall that flow state feeling.
That's pretty ingenious. It's like creating a shortcut to peak performance.
Yeah, I love that, a shortcut.
And I can see how being in that state could really boost your productivity and creativity,
Hmm.
which are essential for wealth creation, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so McKenna doesn't just stop at tapping into flow state. He also encourages us to actively seek out opportunities and solutions using a tool he calls the Millionaire's Notebook.
Oh yeah, the Millionaire's Notebook.
What's so special about this notebook? Is it like made of gold-plated paper or something?
No, not quite.
Okay.
It's more about the process than the notebook itself.
Okay.
He suggests carrying a notebook with you everywhere you go
Mm-hmm.
and consistently asking yourself wealth-generating questions.
Like what?
Well, things like, what would I love to create that people would love to give me money for? What problems can I solve that would make people's lives better?
It's like priming the pump of your unconscious mind, keeping it focused on finding opportunities and solutions.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I bet just the act of writing down those questions and ideas
Yeah,
sparks even more creativity and inspiration.
totally. It's like when I'm feeling stuck, sometimes just getting my thoughts out on paper helps me see things more clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he also encourages us to think outside the box,
Okay.
challenge our assumptions about what's possible.
Mm.
He poses a really thought-provoking question.
Okay.
He says, if you woke up tomorrow with just $100 in your pocket
Eh.
and you had to double it by the end of the day, how would you do it?
Ooh, that's a good one. It really gets the wheels turning. I mean, most of us probably wouldn't resort to like gambling or anything illegal.
Right.
So what kind of creative solutions does he suggest?
Well, he shares some great examples from the book,
Okay.
like Peter Jones, who started out as a street trader selling tennis rackets. He also talks about Nick Candy, who spotted a lucrative opportunity to renovate luxury apartments. And he pitched his idea to a wealthy investor.
I see.
So these examples highlight the importance of resourcefulness,
Okay.
identifying your skills and assets, and being willing to take action.
It's about seeing possibilities where others might only see limitations.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Exactly.
But even with the most creative ideas and the best intentions, sometimes we need support to achieve our goals, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where McKenna's mastermind principle comes in.
The mastermind principle, yes.
So tell me more about this.
Well, McKenna emphasizes that no one achieves great wealth alone. He believes that having a team of supportive individuals with diverse skills can amplify your success exponentially.
Okay.
Think of it like this. A lone wolf might be able to survive,
Yeah,
but a pack of wolves can thrive.
I like that analogy. Okay.
Right? So we all have our strengths and weaknesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
By forming a wealth team, You're essentially filling in those gaps and creating a support system
Yeah.
that can help propel you forward.
So where do you find these amazing people that are going to help you reach your financial goals?
Well, he suggests starting by identifying your current wealth team.
My current wealth
Yeah.
plan. Okay.
Who are the people in your life who already support your success in some way?
Mm.
Could be family, friends, mentors, colleagues, even financial advisors.
I like that. It's recognizing and appreciating the resources you already have.
Exactly.
But what if there are gaps in my current team? How do I attract those missing pieces?
Well, he provides guidance on identifying the roles you need to fill
Okay.
and offers strategies for connecting with the right people. He emphasizes the importance of networking,
Okay.
attending industry events, seeking out mentors, even joining online communities
Right.
where you can connect with like-minded individuals.
So it's not just about finding people with the right skills. It's about building authentic relationships.
Exactly.
Surrounding yourself with people who believe in your vision.
Yes.
And are willing to support you on your journey.
100%.
All right, and McKenna takes this idea of teamwork a step further by introducing what he calls the simplest business plan in the world.
Yes, the simplest business plan.
Okay, I'm not exactly an entrepreneur, but I'm always up for learning new ways to organize my goals and finances.
Me too.
So what's the secret sauce of this simple business plan?
Well, his framework consists of 5 core categories.
Okay.
Purpose, current reality, one-year outcomes, strategies, and action plan. And he believes that even if you're not running a business, these principles apply to personal finances and career growth.
So it's about clarifying your vision,
Yeah.
assessing your current situation.
And developing a roadmap for achieving your goals.
Exactly.
Okay.
What's really interesting is how he emphasizes the power of writing down your goals.
Okay.
Even something as simple as, I will be a millionaire by 30. So by committing your goals to paper, you're sending a powerful message to your unconscious mind, setting the wheels in motion for their manifestation.
It's like that saying, a goal without a plan is just a wish.
Exactly.
Yeah. And having a written plan helps you break down those big goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so McKenna goes beyond just setting goals and making plans. He also identifies what he calls the 3 skills of success:
The 3 skills.
networking, marketing, and sales.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Those are essential skills for any venture, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's launching a business,
Right.
climbing the corporate ladder, or even managing your personal finances.
Right.
But it sounds a bit intimidating, especially for those of us who aren't, natural-born salespeople.
I hear you.
Yeah. But he breaks down these skills in a way that makes them accessible to anyone.
Okay.
Regardless of your personality type or profession,
Okay.
he offers practical tips and exercises for improving your networking skills, crafting compelling marketing messages, and overcoming your fear of sales.
All right, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yep.
So let's start with networking. I've always struggled with putting myself out there and making connections. Any tips from McKenna on how to overcome that awkwardness?
He has a really great analogy
Okay.
that helps reframe networking in a more positive light.
Okay.
He encourages us to think about building a fan club.
A fan club.
Yeah.
Okay.
So think about those people who admire you and what you do. Your friends, your family, colleagues, even those you connect with online.
Yeah.
They're already part of your fan club.
Okay.
And then it becomes about expanding that circle
Right.
to include new fans who align with your vision and goals.
I like that. Building your fan club.
Yeah, it's a fun way to think about it.
Yeah. Okay, and what about marketing?
Well, when it comes to marketing, McKenna emphasizes the importance of telling the story.
Telling the story.
Yeah, of what you offer.
Okay.
He stresses the importance of believing in your product or service and communicating that passion to others.
So it's not just about listing features and benefits, it's about connecting with people on an emotional level,
Exactly.
conveying the value that you bring and why it matters to them.
Yes, and he encourages finding creative analogies
Okay.
to explain complex ideas or address potential objections.
Okay.
So, for example, he compares his weight loss program to the cost of therapy or a weight loss club,
I see.
making the value proposition crystal clear.
Yeah, it's about making those comparisons that resonate with people's everyday experiences.
Exactly.
Okay, and then there's sales, which is the skill that a lot of people dread, myself included. I've always felt uncomfortable selling myself or my ideas.
Yeah, I get it.
So any tips from McKenna on how to reframe that experience?
He has a really refreshing perspective on sales. He reframes it as simply asking for what you want.
Ask it for what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he breaks it down into a 5-step process.
Okay.
Setting a clear goal. Finding out what the other person wants. Interrogating your story to make sure you're focusing on benefits.
Yeah.
Getting yourself into a rich state.
A rich state?
Yeah, when you
Yes.
don't need the sale.
Yeah.
And then finally, telling your story and making the ask.
So it's about shifting from a place of need to a place of abundance. Believing in the value you offer.
Yes.
Trusting that the right opportunities will align.
Right.
And I can see how getting yourself into that rich state,
Yeah.
feeling confident and secure, would make a huge difference in how you approach the sales conversation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He stresses the importance of detaching from the outcome
Hmm.
and recognizing that every no gets you closer to a yes.
Yeah, it's about having that resilience and persistence.
Yes.
Not giving up on your vision, even when faced with obstacles.
Exactly. And he reminds us that building wealth isn't just about financial gain.
Right.
It's about creating a life of purpose and fulfillment.
Yeah.
He challenges us to ask ourselves, what legacy do I want to leave behind?
It's about making a positive impact on the world, not just lining our own pockets.
Exactly.
And that brings us to another important point, the art of living rich, which we'll delve into in the next part of our deep dive. So we're back, and we're ready to talk about the art of living rich. But first, we got to address the elephant in the room, right? What's the point of building all this wealth if we can't even enjoy it?
Right. It's like, what's the point?
Exactly.
And McKenna actually dives into this idea of wealth dysmorphia.
Wealth dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of this.
It's essentially the financial equivalent of body dysmorphia.
Okay, so what is wealth dysmorphia? Is it like constantly feeling broke even when you have plenty of money?
It's more about having this distorted view of your financial reality. So you're always focused on what's missing, instead of appreciating the abundance that you already have.
I see.
Like that billionaire we talked about earlier, longing for a specific type of ocean view, despite owning this, luxurious home.
Right.
It's like that saying, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah, it's like you're so busy chasing the next milestone
Yeah.
that you forget to actually enjoy the journey.
Exactly. And that kind of thinking can really keep you stuck on this treadmill of dissatisfaction,
Yeah.
no matter how much you achieve or accumulate.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it makes me think of that provocative question that McKenna asks in the book. How much would you sell your ability to see for?
Ooh, that's a powerful one.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
There are some things money just can't buy.
Absolutely. And he reminds us that true wealth extends beyond material possessions.
Mm-hmm.
It's about experiencing joy and fulfillment in all areas of your life.
So how do we cultivate that gratitude and appreciation for those priceless aspects of our lives?
Well, he talks about the brain's process of habituation,
Habituation.
which basically means getting used to things.
Okay.
So our brains are wired to filter out repetitive experiences. It's a survival mechanism,
Yeah.
but it can also make us take the good things for granted.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like when you buy a new car and you're so excited about it.
Right.
But after a while, that new car smell fades.
Mm-hmm.
And it just becomes another car.
Exactly. Or that amazing vacation you took. That just becomes a memory.
Yeah.
But the good news is that we can actually retrain our brains
Okay.
to appreciate those blessings.
How?
He suggests a simple but powerful practice,
Hmm.
regularly asking yourself what he calls wealth-revealing questions.
Wealth-revealing questions.
Yeah,
Like what?
What am I most grateful for today?
Okay.
What brought me joy this week?
I've been trying that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much of a difference it makes. Just taking a few minutes each day to reflect on the good things really shifts my perspective.
It's like hitting the reset button on your happiness.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so speaking of maximizing happiness, McKenna introduces another interesting concept, the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule.
Ah, yes, the 80-20 rule.
Isn't that the idea that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts?
Exactly.
But how does that apply to, living a rich life?
He encourages us to apply this principle to all areas of our lives.
Okay.
So, for example, 80% of your happiness might come from 20% of your relationships,
Hmm.
or 80% of your stress might stem from 20% of your work tasks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
By identifying these patterns, you can focus your energy on the 20% that yields the greatest returns.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Yes,
Making sure you're spending your time and energy on the things that truly matter.
100%.
Don't major in the minors, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and once you've identified those high-impact areas, what's next?
Action.
Action.
He reminds us that even the most meticulously crafted plans are useless without action.
It's one thing to dream big, but it's another thing to actually make those dreams a reality.
Exactly.
And that requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Taking risks.
He emphasizes that every successful business venture
Mhm.
involved someone taking a leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not talking about reckless risk-taking.
Yeah.
He actually provides a framework
Mm-hmm.
for evaluating the potential upside and downside of a decision,
Oh, okay.
weighing the potential benefits against the potential costs.
So calculated risks,
Yeah.
not just jumping into the deep end without a plan.
Exactly.
And I imagine that having a strong support system, like that wealth team we talked about earlier, can make taking those risks feel less daunting.
Absolutely. Having people you trust to bounce ideas off of and offer support can make a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of support, then McKenna also talks about the importance of taking care of your team. You know, those people who are helping you on your journey to wealth.
Right, because true wealth is about more than just personal gain. It's about creating a positive ripple effect,
Exactly.
lifting others up as you rise.
A rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Exactly.
And it makes me think of McKenna's final message, which is all about finding your unique contribution to the world.
Yes, he challenges us to ask ourselves, what gifts can I bring to the world that people would be happy to pay for?
It's a powerful question that invites us to think beyond just making money and consider our true purpose and passion.
Or unique value, yeah.
It's about aligning our talents and skills with the needs of the world.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into I Can Make You Rich, I'm left with this feeling of possibility. It's like McKenna has given us a roadmap, not just for building wealth, but for creating a life that feels truly abundant in every sense of the word.
I agree, it's a really inspiring read.
It is. It is. It's a reminder that we all have the power to create the life we desire. But it requires shifting our mindset, mastering key skills, and taking consistent action.
Yeah.
It's about believing in ourselves, embracing our unique gifts, and contributing our talents to the world. And hey, maybe we'll even become millionaires along the way.
Maybe, you never know.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploring Paul McKenna's I Can Make You Rich. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep reaching for your dreams.